The state of New York has banned almost 20 cryptos, taking them off the green list. We're going to go over those. This is Around the Blockchain, the best show in all. Thank you for joining, folks. Guys, we got 3 phenomenal guests. We're going to just get right into it because we got too much show. All right, first off, we have Firoz. Firoz is like, whoa, where's all this energy coming from? Firoz, are we shirt buddies today? How are you doing today?
I think we are. Yeah, we're good. Shirt buddies, shaved head buddies, buddies all around.
Matt, you know what? I walked on the dark side for a short period, but I came crawling back. All right.
I was going to say last Thursday, DZ. I was going to say.
Also on today, he's not follically challenged. It is Big Pey with the patented phone stream. Big Pey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm back in the hammock. I have a really nice setup, a nice camera, a nice microphone, and it just does not want to work anytime I connect to the website to use ATB. So here I am in the hammock, a little bit more comfortable, but happy to be here.
Hey, man, of course you're starting with 1 point because you're in the hammock. And then we have Crypto Hound holding it down. And what is that basketball from? Is that, are you a B-ball fan? Can you dunk?
It's a little Sin City crypto ball over here that I won tuning into their stream one time. You know, you got to listen to everybody out there.
Okay, so you didn't have to dunk on Rob or anything?
No, I think I could,
though. Hey, celebrity basketball game soon. All right, well, guys, let's get right into the WorldCoin CEO. I'm not talking about the alt man, alt man. No, let's just read a couple sentences here. Kenya has arrested the other CEO, the co-CEO. The Interior Cabinet Secretary has claimed U.S. authorities, though, blocked Kenya from detaining several top executives of WorldCoin. The co-founder and CEO, Alex Blania, we'll show a picture of him in a second, as well as chief legal counsel, were those arrested, however, blocked by U.S. authorities. They said, no, you got to let them go. They did pass go. In fact, give them $200 or maybe some WorldCoin orb tokens there. CEO Alex Blania, let's show him. Surprisingly young, him and Sam, 2 young whippersnappers there with the fashionable ripped jeans there. But we're seeing, critics still putting them under the microscope. Don't collect our iris data. Kenyan officials, they're coming to heaven out. Mixed messages here. Some are saying, hey, everything is fine. In fact, they had a quote. He said they blocked authorities because WorldCoin executives haven't been found guilty of a crime. But then you have other people saying, no, they're guilty of many, many finance and document-related crimes. Now, Firoz, meanwhile, the orbs just keep rolling out. The Eye of Sauron still continues to see. It's not blinking. It's full of Visine. It doesn't blink for years, it seems like. Will this Kenya narrative slow down the orb adoption?
Not necessarily, because I mean, if I think about it a different way, imagine if this was the UK doing it, right? I think that would have more of a statement in the news, right? Because it's a stronger economy more than anything else that's stating something. There's a stronger government that's stating something. So I don't think in any way, it's going to slow it down at all. The other thing is that those in the crypto space, like you and I, like the guests that we have on today as well, we all kind of know, and we're quite, I would say, pro-sovereign, being our own banks, making sure that, we're in control of our own data, etc. So, I'm not necessarily wooed by what they're doing. I don't find it remotely interesting in any way whatsoever. You're going around, you're collecting data ultimately from people that, don't know any better because they think it's a pretty cool thing to do. I think the other thing to sort of bear in mind is, if you kind of go to a country where, it's economically stronger, I don't think they would get as much. Whereas if you look at it from the sort of Kenyan perspective, they're getting like $48 per scan, which actually $48 goes a long way in that type of economy. So, for me, it's give and take. I don't think it's going to necessarily slow anything down. I think those who are kind of keen and interested in giving away their own iris data for whatever use it may happen, 5-10 years down the line, maybe you will get caught for something you were completely unaware of just because you shared your data. Because I don't know who's going to have access to it later on. I don't know if it's going to be sold to somebody later on. So again, I don't think it's going to slow it down, but I also don't think it's really big news either.
Yeah, sold later on, or what if they got hacked? Databases got hacked there. Yeah. Now, Big Pey, I'm looking right here about $48, but the State Department has a quote, to say, hey, look, you got to let them go. They haven't been charged with any crime, but don't worry. And the State Department had a quote here. They will produce them when required, talking about the executive. So the Kenyan officials end up charging them with the crime. U.S. authorities will produce them when required. Will they really, though?
I doubt it. I mean, it seems like that's what they do with a lot of people that they don't like. Anybody that goes against the mainstream narrative or they're building a company or a technology they don't like, they essentially arrest you and then they look for evidence later. I mean, it reminds me of, Andrew Tate, where they arrested him and then they start calling everybody looking for evidence to actually keep him in jail. And then they never actually had it. But I wanted to comment. I didn't know it was $48 per scan. I mean, that is huge for people in third world countries. And I honestly think it's worth it. You're in a third world country, you don't have that much money. $48 is so big for them. It reminds me of when Uniswap started dropping thousands of dollars in people's wallet from the airdrop. And I read stories from people in Israel, people in Africa getting the Uniswap airdrop. And it was good for them. And, I'm pretty weird about them actually scanning my iris and having all of that in a database. But if I was in a third world country, I'd be signing up immediately. $48 would be the best.
Wait a minute. You're hesitant about them scanning your eye?
A little bit, but at the same time, I use Clear at the airport and they scan my eyes. So I'm already in the system.
Hey, that's literally, I'm in the same boat. And you know what my theory is? Everybody's taking a selfie. You don't think they can zoom in, enhance. They can get your iris data from that.
Snapchat
folks.
Has it. That's for sure, right?
Yeah. The Snapchat servers have a lot of pictures of your eyeballs, folks. All right. Well, Crypto Hound, last question on this topic here. WorldCoin is getting a lot of criticism, but then, Big Pey bringing up a good point. Third world countries, this airdrop is phenomenal. Well, they have a grand scope, grand ambitions. They want, worldwide ID system, worldwide payment system, worldwide everything. Will it survive? Will WorldCoin be here 10 years from now doing even some of what they promised?
I think so. I mean, look at the founders. Yes, it has a negative sentiment to it where people are more turned off with the disclosing your eye and information that you have to provide to be a part of it. But the only reason for the U.S. authorities to give them a free pass and why they're not in prison right now is because the U.S. authorities are encouraging what they're doing. They believe in what they're doing, and it just shows who's got their back in the need of trouble. I agree with Big Pey that starting in that area is definitely going to get their numbers up. It's going to look good on the stat sheet. And I think they'll be here for a long time. Sam Altman and this other young dude, they got a bright future ahead of them, and they're in the right atmosphere. So is all the viewers out there. Getting into crypto is a great step, and you all made that step today. So that's great.
All right. You're a Kenyan official. You got them locked up. You see them. They're in the car. You see them in the squad car. And all of a sudden, you get called. Secretary Blinken, U.S. State Department, says, let them go. Hound, you let them go, or are you driving to the precinct?
Sensitive topic, but I would drive them to the precinct, man. That's your country. You got to protect your people. And
I would, here's what I would do. I would say, the CIA gives us like $2 billion a year. All right, go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let them go.
Yeah. So you didn't say that part.
No. That's the quiet part we always say out loud here. All right, let's talk about New York. Talking about the coins and the New York Financial Department Services here. No, the Department of Financial Services. They announced changes to the process on how they list coins for their little green list. They have a list of approved tokens by the financial regulators. And the New York Department of Financial Services also sued Coinbase for $100 million. They have an adversarial relationship with crypto, to say the least. But in the announcement, they have significantly reduced it. They had 19 non-stable coins on the green list. 19 became 3, folks. They cut out a lot of tokens. The 3, you still have Bitcoin, you still have Ethereum, and then they added Pax Gold. I guess, supposedly a pretty backed 1-to-1 Pax Gold token is there. So only 3. Well, we have the list of the tokens no longer on there. It's a little hard to see. I'm going to read down Ox, Aave, Bancor, Basic Attention Token. Bitcoin Cash no longer on there. Chainlink, Dogecoin, ETH Classic. Keep scrolling. Litecoin. No more Litecoin, folks. XRP, Synthetics, Wrap Bitcoin, and the rest are stables there. So some of the big ones, Doge, Litecoin, XRP, are now taken off the favored list. And even critics are saying, hey, guys, this might have been a little bit of an overreach here, especially considering Ripple has scored a couple small victories in their case against the SEC So the Ripple ruling there was, kind of surprising there. Now, Firoz, some of these are surprising. I brought up XRP. It's, has some positive developments with the SEC case. Then we also have Doge, and Doge is related to Litecoin. Litecoin, very, very close to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's on the list, but Litecoin isn't. And then Doge, kind of a fork of Litecoin. What is more surprising of those three? We got Doge, Litecoin, XRP. Which of those was the most surprising is no longer favored?
XRP, I'll be honest. I mean, the other two, like Dogecoin, I could argue fine, it's a meme. So, all right, drop it. Litecoin, Bitcoin, silver. Look at, everyone just looks forward to the halvening for Litecoin, just like they do with Bitcoin. And then after that, it kind of dumps down, but everything follows Bitcoin. So those two, I'm not too concerned about because I kind of treat them like a meme almost. But XRP, I was quite surprised, because out of all of those ones, I mean, that's the one that has the strongest use case. Look, Doge does have a use case, sure it does. It's just there to pump when Elon talks about it, but more than anything else. I mean, XRP, it has a use case. It has a strong network. It has a strong community behind it. And again, cross-border payments, it is a hot topic regardless, right? Interestingly enough, they also took off XLM as well. So, which is another, cross-border, they're using a lot of these things for cross-border payments anyway. So I was quite surprised to see those come off. But equally, I think, even though, we've seen those come off, the ones that come back on again, I reckon XRP will come back on again anyway. I mean, given their recent lawsuit wins that they've had, given that they also won the motion to compel to get the documents out about Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP. So again, those three are kind of almost in the same category as well from a classification perspective. So I would suspect that would come back. So yeah, for me, that's quite surprising, DZ, that one.
All right. XRP, a lot of XRP community members are quite surprised by this. Now, Big Pey, I know you love Cardano. I'm going to ask you about Litecoin today. We have a lot of Litecoin fans in the chat. We have a lot of Litecoin fans in the comment section. We see them, every time we bring it up. The Tom Crown super fans come out. We do love Tom Crown. Tom, can't wait till you come back here. Now, why do you think Litecoin got singled out here? Why did they remove Litecoin? Firoz brought up a good point. It's the silver to Bitcoin gold. Bitcoin got the green light. So why are they dumping on Litecoin?
It honestly doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't really see anything in the article for any reasoning, directly at Litecoin. But, he mentioned earlier that, XRP is the most surprising. And to me, Litecoin's the most surprising. It's not something with, a big company, telling everyone to buy it all the time. It doesn't have huge marketing. And it's been around, longer than most other cryptocurrencies. So it's pretty shocking to me. As far as decentralization goes, I wouldn't really look at, Litecoin as being, a centralized security that should be, taken off of New York's list. But if you remember, it was 6 months ago or maybe a year ago, they mentioned Ethereum was a security. I think it was the, state attorney, was doing something against Ethereum for it being a security. And I think ultimately, New York's opinion, their opinion doesn't matter, just as Kenya's opinion doesn't matter. I think, the federal government is going to be the one that actually picks winners and losers when it comes to cryptocurrency. And that really is the largest risk that I look at when I think of cryptocurrency nowadays is the federal government in the United States going to come after it and shut it down and start lawsuits to push it down, just like they did with XRP? And if not, green light for many of, the top 50.
All right. Talk says, when did this happen? I can still buy them on Coinbase. Not financial advice. There's one you really do want and you don't feel like trying to find it on random exchange and, making swaps, turning VPNs on. Hey, it might not be there tomorrow, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Not financial advice. All right. Crypto Hound with this, with the Department of Financial Services from New York. I only see two distinct possibilities here. One, they are literally trying to protect the citizens of New York. Or they're literally trying to protect Wall Street. Am I crazy for this thought?
You're not crazy, but I'm going to insert my own third option here.
Uh-oh.
I think I agree with Big Pey that why Litecoin, what has really changed from the dynamic, the background structure of Litecoin over the years? Not sure. XRP is growing rapidly. There's a company, they're making adoptions with banks all over the world. That's what's a red flag for New York, is that every time something changes in the company, or it could be geography, it could be service provider, meaning exchanges, the business model or operations, who their customers are. Once one of these facets change, then they need to readdress. Ripple needs to send a letter to New York and go, hey, we still want your business. We want to be able to be on the exchanges. Here's just an update on what we are. So maybe they just want to know a little bit more. They're seeing all the massive XRP news. But Litecoin, why Litecoin? I still can't wrap my head around that one. But maybe there's something that we don't know about. Litecoin got adopted somewhere. There's some growth there that needs to be kind of rechecked in by New York.
All right. +1 from Mind Your Biz for razors, shaving the DZ dome. Thank you very much, Seth. I have a feeling like Seth, he fashions his own. He's like got a leather strap. He hears the sound, and then like color purple is his wife do it. Am I right, Seth? Am I right? All right. Interesting theory there, Hound. It's to basically, it's almost like a bullying tactic, a negotiation tactic. They want Ripple to come hat in hand, Charlie Lee, hat in hand, and say, hey, we're sorry. All right, well, let's move on here and talk about SBF's father getting paid, everybody. SBF, I guess he's pretty good at his job, folks, because he asked for a raise. He was making $16,000 a month. Well, he asked for a raise. Son, you got to put me up to $80K a month. I do want to share a couple tweets here. Connor's one, J. Con Grogan. SBF put his father in charge of FTX group spending, and SBF's father gave SBF's aunt $14K a month to plan a hackathon. The event cost $2.3 million to run and only had less than 1,200 people to attend. So the aunt was getting some funds in. Then we have the father. There's one more. I think there's one more tweet I might try to share in a bit where just Sam. Do we have the picture of his parents? Someone pointed out, look how much he looks like his mother. Look how much he looks like his mother. So Sam's dad threatened to tell Sam, he said, I'm going to get mom involved. He literally said, hey, if you don't give me a raise, I'm going to go tell your mother. And then in an email, he says, hey, I'm very surprised I didn't get the $1 million raise here. I'm going to go ahead and loop Barbara in this here. So more details here. 2 weeks after that email, well, guess what? $10 million bonus hit their bank account. He said, hey, I'm only getting paid $16K a month. That's not enough. I need to get paid $80. 2 weeks later, $10 million. Well, guess what? About 6 weeks after that, a $16 million mansion was bought in the Bahamas in their name. Really, really good executive bonuses. Owen, is that what you're expecting this Christmas? Owen's nodding his head. Hey, maybe I'll get the shack in the back. I don't know. The parents' attorney did release a statement. We want to have both sides here, so let's have SBS parents have their say here. This is a dangerous attempt to intimidate Joe and Barbara and undermine the jury process just days before their child's trial begins. Good persuasion technique, saying child instead of son. Good persuasion. All right, so Firoz, what do you make of this latest development?
Firstly, I say slap them both with the same cucumber that SBF has been eating.
3 points for the cucumber joke.
Let's just get that out there. But look, what I see here is just absolute privilege and abuse of power, abuse of company funds. It's clear to me, like as in they're all intelligent. Let's not deny this. I mean, you have to be a smart person in order to grow a business that big. Just as stupid to lose it all as well at the same time. But nonetheless, mommy and daddy were taken care of. They were also took advantage of it at the end of the day. They've received millions of dollars. Ultimately, what I would say are in fraudulent transfers from FTX and Alameda Research. I mean, that's what's really happening here. Mommy and daddy were sort of, supposedly under the guise given hush. No, it's not hush money. It's just money under the table in all forms. I mean, you kind of mentioned, I think in one of the articles there was a mention, actually you just mentioned now, I think his aunt was paid like almost $14,000 a month to arrange a hackathon where only like 1,200 people turned up. It was like a $2.3 million spend. I mean, if that isn't you just looking out for your family and forgetting about the rest of your customers, I don't know what else is. So,
that was $2,000 per attendee. So each attendee, basically $2,000 were spent on them. Yeah. Maybe they got 2 coffees and a bottle of water.
Exactly. And you just can't make this stuff up, to be honest. So at the end of the day, they've used their power, they've used their position to exploit their access at the end of the day, influence within FTX. And what I just don't like about the whole situation is that they've just done it all to enrich themselves. And unfortunately, you've got all these others that are holding the bag of absolutely, garbage, nothing. They can't do anything. Whereas these guys, again, they're walking around, happily with their mansions, with their wonderful suits and all, their fancy lifestyle. Whereas unfortunately, the rest of the customers are not.
All right, mind your business with a +1 for the cucumber power right there. And guys, I don't know if the hackathon only had 2 things of coffee and a bottle of water. Maybe they had lobster tails falling from the ceiling, folks. I don't know. All right, Big Pay. Let me share this tweet one time here. Can we share my screen? Connor, he worded it so perfectly. SBF's father was unhappy with the salary at FTX, so he emailed SBF asking for more money. And then he pulled the "I'm telling your mother, dad" move and looped SBF's mom into the email thread. Big Pay. Was that a power move, intimidation tactic? What do you feel about his dad's negotiation tactics for a raise here?
So my first thought is the dad is a beta and the mom is who makes all the power moves in the house. If he says, "Oh, I got to go tell your mom that we need more money." And, one thing that really surprised me is, or really didn't surprise me, is that they spent $2 million on the event. I hosted Rare Bloom last year. We had 700 or 800 attendees come out. That cost us, $700,000-800,000. So when you look at a large company like FTX that has billions of dollars, it does not surprise me that they spent, triple what we did. And, I don't really think that there's too much negligence there. When you're a company that's making billions of dollars, you just don't care. And honestly, what makes it bad that they're paying their family members is because they scam people. If this was $1 billion company and they were putting the aunt on the payroll, putting the mom on the payroll, and they were paying these people, I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. Really, the issue lies in the fact that they were scamming people. Put your mama on the payroll, put grandma on the payroll if you're making billions of dollars, but not if you're scamming people.
That's great point. Great point. Hey, if you're making billions in profit, sure, but not when you're spending billions of customer funds. I agree with that. If he wanted to pay his aunt all the money in the world, hey, as long as you're not stealing, I don't really have a problem with that. It's a private company, not publicly traded, no fiduciary responsibility, fair to the shareholders. All right, well, Crypto Hound, last question here. This is going to be somewhat of a fun one. All right. What do you think Joe and Barbara's next logical step is going to be now? Do they turn on Sam? Do they clam up like the mafia? Do they throw a crazy house party like it's the Polycule in 1999? What are they going to do next?
So I believe this was their move. I believe they're trying to put all the light on, SBF's our child. He shouldn't be looked at this way. It was really
Sympathy.
us. Put the blame on us. I think they should all be on the stand together. And they're kind of just trying to make the jury feel literally like he's just a kid. We were in the works here too. It's not all his fault. So don't give him the biggest of the charges. And what interested me, and I think all you guys out there will kind of get a kick of this, is that the guy who took over FTX and is trying to build it back is this guy
John J. Ray III.
Yeah, Ray. So Ray is taking over. He did a thing with Enron back in like 2011 or something where he was able to give back like 50% of funds back to the investors there. So I think this is great for people who lost money. I have friends that had money on FTX that went missing, and that's been the recent trend lately, is that everyone's getting ripped off and scammed. So the fact that this guy steps in, I'm more bullish on FTX, at least just getting their head above water, a breath of fresh air before tanking again and coming bankrupt. But hopefully for you FTX holders out there, that you could get a little peace of mind to get some money back at the end of this craziness.
Yeah, I'm rooting for John J. Ray III. One, partly because his name just kind of rolls off the tongue, fun to say. Also sounds like a comic book character. 2, I do want the customers to try to get as much money back as possible. And 3, maybe don't go mansion shopping. Don't go on the mansion splurge when you're stealing billions at the same time. Maybe that's just how I would run a crypto exchange if I was doing it. But you know what? I can't get out of Bronze League either, so maybe I wouldn't have done better. All right, well, folks, I think that is all we have. Just Jim, Paul Harvey, a bald head is a solar panel for a love machine. Okay, that was a good one. Good one from our super sub, Just Jim. Mind your biz. Thank you for joining in the chat. Everybody, Crypto Billy. And it looks like Firoz ended up taking it home. It was a great episode. Firoz, feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts. And what would you do if you're SBF's parents?
Cheers, DZ, for having me on. And guys, if you're not already, make sure you smash up the like, drop a follow to ATB, all the guests here today. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but you know, the halving is around the corner, guys. The halving is around the corner. Step back, zoom out, look at the charts. You know exactly where it's going. So really now is the time, not financial advice, of course, but now is the time to start looking at that portfolio, get that DCA going as we're heading to the halving, and sit back, relax for that ride from 2024 to 2025. That's it.
All right, everybody, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I'm talking about you, John, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, all the people watching. Thank you. It's been a wonderful episode. We'll be back tomorrow. See you in the morning. Pey, Hound, Firoz, all put out fantastic content regularly. And I highly recommend you go down in the description right now. Go ahead, scroll that wheel. You're still listening to me. Now you're scrolling. Now you're seeing the links. I need you to click on that. And also, big shout out to Linqto. You can invest with the best of them without having all the bells and whistles and having to jump through all the hoops of fire, everybody. Great product. You see that link down there as well. That's all we got. Until next time, DZ out.